Greetings, my friends. I hope this finds you well and managing these days with some ease. We've been working through our time very often around the Book of Joy and the teachings of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, and Archbishop Tutu. Last night I was listening to His Holiness, and he actually brought into the conversation the travesty that happened in Minneapolis and the idea that it would come out of racism and hatred. And he just kept encouraging and teaching about compassion, about bringing compassion into our world, that the only way we will save ourselves and save each other and have a peaceful world is through compassion. Compassion is described as the quivering of the heart in the face of another's suffering. It is said to be not a noun, it is a verb, it is an action, right? It seems to be the most important teaching these days. There are so many in pain, so many are suffering. And we have compassion for ourselves and compassion for each other. We are all in this world together. We are all managing as best we can. We all beings everywhere, want to be happy. And so we take these practices to remind ourselves to come back home, to come to the mind that is spacious, to come to the heart that is open. His Holiness says, and Archbishop, they agree that too much self-centered thinking is the source of suffering. They say, watch for our self-cherishing. That we, the me, the mind, the I, are so important. A compassionate concern for others' well-being is the source of happiness. So how can I help? How can I help? It reminds me, my dear father-in-law, may he rest in peace. He wasn't a Buddhist, but he was a man of love. And he would always ask, what can I do to help? How can I help? Do you need anything? And that came from his truest essential nature. And so how can I help? How can I be of service? And that can happen in very small ways and very big ways. I know I say this again and again, but I think we all just need reminding. And so we do all have to just also take care of ourselves. His Holiness said we have to take care of ourselves without selfishly taking care of ourselves. So some people might feel like, oh, I don't have time for taking care of myself. That would be selfish. No, taking care of ourselves is really about being self-full so that we can have more to give to others. That's my viewpoint. If I feel well in my body and my mind and my heart, then I can be there for others in a bigger way, right? He said, if we don't take care of ourselves, we cannot survive. So we need to do that. We should have what he calls wise selfishness rather than foolish selfishness. Foolish selfishness means that you just think only of yourself. You don't care about others. Maybe a bully or you exploit. We all know what that foolish selfishness looks like. In fact, taking care of others, helping others, ultimately is the way to discover your own joy and have a happy life. He says, so that's what I call wise selfishness. Yeah. And so today, I'm really moved by all of this. Let's sit for a few minutes. So please have near you, we'll do both a yin practice with some gentle active movement. If you can, have a bolster and you have your blocks. A blanket is always good either to sit on or have nearby. But I do recommend sit on the edge of a cushion or a blanket. And so our intention really, and His Holiness speaks of that, is that may I awaken, may I reach awakening, may I awaken for the benefit of all beings. That really is our prayer. May my heart be open so I have more to give. And so we can take some time to be with ourselves, to tend to our body and to our mind and our heart, wish ourselves and others well. So as you sit there, get grounded, settle, feel the roots go down into the earth. And then begin to let the spine lengthen long. And then just take a few breaths and feel where you are. You know, all is welcome here. Come just as you are to the moment, because there really is no other way to show up. It doesn't mean that we have to act out of any impulsivity or act out of the unhealthy emotions, but we still can grow a container big enough to hold it all. So meet yourself here and now. As you take in the sounds around you. And feel how the physical body feels. It becomes an interesting investigation. All becomes an inquiry. Notice the quality of your breath and the energy. And notice the mind and the heart. That way of seeing widens our perspective. And when we can widen our perspective, we're not caught in our small vision of what's happening to me, mine, and I. His Holiness would say, get a God's eye view. And as yogis, we say, from the compassionate observer or loving awareness. And so we take a few moments to take refuge in what the Buddhists call the three jewels. But it reminds us there is a place to take refuge, a sanctuary that is awake and at peace and at ease. And so remind yourself that we do this not only for ourselves, but for the awakening of all. So from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in loving awareness, my true home. And you can touch that place. And from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in the path of loving awareness, the road that leads me home. The practices and teachings. And from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in the Sangha, my teachers, my friends, my spiritual family, those who aspire to live awake and free. And then we remind ourselves of this path, of the awakened heart. And so to set that clear intention that from now until all beings are experienced as liberation, I will bring benefit and happiness to all, omitting none. His Holiness invited us to cultivate that compassion, to help it to grow, to use the mantra Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So not chanting, but just letting that mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And then let your awareness rest with that mantra for a minute or so. Thoughts will come, feelings will come. Everything arises and passes. But from that place of loving awareness, you can view it all and choose not to run with that. And for now, rest with this mantra of compassion. Om Mani Padme Om. You might find that the mantra rides on the wave of breath as you invite the breath to deepen and grow long and silky smooth. As the breath deepens, it fills the abdomen, the ribs, and the chest. And as it empties from the top to the bottom, the next time you inhale, pause the breath at the top and let the energy fill. And then as you exhale, empty it fully. And let the natural pause happen at the end of the breath. And continue in that way for just a few more breaths. Inhaling to the top, pause for a few moments, and then empty it fully. And again, let the pause happen. So do that just a few times on your own. The mantra might ride with you. And then let the doing of breath fall away. And allow the mantra to fall away. And there may be still a whisper of it because that's what happens. You no longer are doing the mantra, but there's a whisper that remains. Nothing to push away. And receive the blessings of this mantra and breath as we step into our practice. May the awakening of this practice be able to bring to the benefit the awakening of all beings everywhere. And then please bring your hands in prayer at your heart and a gentle bow to honor that awakened heart. It's said to be the bodhicitta. That becomes our practice. How do I live from that bodhicitta? Yeah. So if you would release yourself from sitting, we'll move into a yin pose. Remember the yin pose, the muscles are passive. We stay 3 to 5 minutes. And we work at the appropriate pressure. So come on to your hands and knees, please. If you need a cushion under your knees, please use that, or a blanket, a thin blanket to cushion yourself, not necessarily a pillow type cushion. Excuse me, here I'm a bit tangled. So come on to your hands and knees. You get to be just with me, real life. Okay. For this pose, it's going to be quarter dog. You take your hips in line over your knees and come down onto your elbows. And then gently just let the right arm lengthen out. It's not about reaching it, but just let it come forward. And take your left hand across. So keep your elbow still somewhat in line with your shoulder, but it might come a little wider. And your hand can either be on top of the elbow or under. And then you slide both elbows forward and you let your chest drop through. You can come to rest on your forehead. You can come to rest on your cheek. And if you need less, you can widen your arms. And you can rest your forehead resting right on your forearm. And when you find that perfect place, take a breath and relax. Allow the heart to begin to soften down. Here, working with that quality of compassion, we can feel here what's happening in the heart, what's happening in the back of the heart. Where can I take a breath and soften a little bit? So scan around in the body, right here, after you've found the place that feels appropriate for you. And when you meet a place of tension, relax what you can. So that scanning around begins to give you information. But it's about meeting yourself with a kindness. His Holiness also said that the practice of Maitri, or loving kindness, is a protection. So loving kindness and compassion, there are protections. So the phrases of loving kindness, and you may have your own, but maybe simply, may I feel safe. May I feel content and happy. May I feel strong. May I live with ease. Mm. So, in this way, we're always watching the mind and we're making choices, wise choices. We will see the mind go off in unwise ways, but we call it back again and again because we know how we really want to live a life. Hmm. And if you're familiar with that ujjayi breath, the gentle contraction in the back of your throat, let your awareness follow that. Let it be an ally for you. Hmm. Hmm. May I feel safe. May I feel content. May I feel strong. May I live with ease. Hmm. And just another few moments there. Hmm. And then to release, come up onto all fours. Take a breath and round the spine. Slide the sacrum down, tuck the chin in. Take a breath for a little counter stretch. And then once again, lengthen the spine, come down, back on your forearms. And this time, stretch your left arm out or out to the side a little bit. And take your right hand over towards the left. And then slide your elbows forward and drop through. And now you live in your body. Only you know how wide or close those arms need to be. Hmm. Hmm. So again, everything is welcome, right? Bring your whole self here with a heart as wide as the world. We all have messy spots. We all have ways in which we sometimes speak or behave that we wish we hadn't. I know I do sometimes. It's usually a symptom that something else is going on. So take this moment to scan around and relax what you can. Hmm. Hmm. So there is a compassion practice, and it comes from the Tibetan tradition, and it's called Tonglen. Tonglen. It is the exchanging of oneself for others, sending and taking, designed to help ordinary people like ourselves connect with the openness and softness of our hearts. The notion that we can make friends with what we reject, what we see as bad in ourselves and other people. And at the same time, we can learn to be generous with what we cherish, what we see as good. In its essence, when anything is painful or undesirable, we breathe it in. It's another way of saying, I don't resist this. You surrender, we surrender to oneself, and you acknowledge who you are and you honor yourself. Hmm. So perhaps there's a part of yourself, or perhaps, as I spoke of at the beginning, this horrific experience that happened this week. And we can find ourselves angry and outraged, but we also feel the pain of that. And so the invitation is not so much to be in the mind, but to breathe in that pain and discomfort, both our own and those that are outside that we see are in pain. Just breathe it in like a dark cloud. But as you exhale, breathe out a softness, the love, that place that you connected to that is already awake. We breathe in the difficulty and we exhale love and light or softness, healing. A great Buddhist teacher, Shantideva, said, "In joy and sorrow all are equal. Thus be guardian of all as of yourself." So we don't want to turn away from those who are in pain or even our own pain, but say, yes, I will not resist. I will breathe in and feel that even as it breaks my heart. And as I exhale, as best I can, breathe out some softness, some love for my own heart and for others. So just another breath or two here. And then to release, please once again come on to all fours. And once again, take a breath and round the spine, tuck in your chin, and then press the buttocks back into child. Press your hands and wobble your hips. And then please take a look at your hands, shoulders with. Spread your fingers like the rays of the sun and your wrists aligned with the front of the mat. And then come back up onto all fours. Lengthen your spine. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees. Pop them off the ground. Keep your knees bent and then through. And then just walk your heels down. And then both knees soft and you press from your hands and let your heart rise up on your toes as you lift your hips. Take a few breaths there. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Body dangle down. Let your head dangle. And scan. Notice where you can soften a little bit. And then to release, soften your knees. Tuck in your chin. You can even take your hands on your legs and bring the torso back up standing. And pause for a moment and notice how you feel. And then please open your eyes and come so you're standing sideways on your mat. You'll excuse me, it's a little cool out here in Brahmi land. And then come to the left side of your mat. I'll mirror you. And find your mountain grounded and long. And then bring your hands in prayer at your heart. Just take a moment there. And then as you inhale, sweep your arms around, bring them overhead, slide your sacrum down gently, lift. And as you exhale, sweep it around. And do a few sun breaths in that way. And the next time you inhale, bring your arms overhead, palms together, cross the thumbs. And exhale. As you inhale again, reach up and bring the arms back and hold the breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands out in front. As you inhale, draw your shoulders on your back. Pause there. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath in and out. Sun breath in and out. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, hands up, palms together, thumbs crossed. Hold the breath. Exhale. And as you inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, bring your hands out in front. Inhale, draw your shoulders on your back. Hold it. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath in and out, sun breath. And as you next inhale, bring your right arm next to your ear. And exhale, come on over to the side. Then inhale up and exhale down. And inhale the left arm up and over to the side. And bring it back up. Pause for a moment. And bring your hands on your waist. Take a breath and take a nice big step out, a good legs distance apart. Okay. And then turn your heels in and your feet out a little bit. So you're out, not pigeon toe, what's the opposite? And then extend your arms out in 5-pointed star. And you reach through your feet and your fingers and your crown. And we all know what stars do, everybody. They twinkle, right? Turn your palms up. And as you exhale, bend your knees in the direction of your little toe and sink down and bend your elbows. And again, inhale, open wide. Exhale, sink it down. One more time. As you come into your victory squat, you might even like to join the thumb and index finger in a little mudra. Shoulders back, knees open, strong and open and vulnerable, compassionate, right where you are. Sink a little bit more. And then to release, lengthen the legs, stretch the arms out. Release the hands, bring one to the belly, one to the heart. And just feel where you are. And then please open the eyes and turn your right foot right from the hip bone and turn it 90 degrees. And then take your back heel and press that away. So see that your heels are aligned on the mat as if you drew a straight line on your mat. And then energize out through that back leg. Rotate. And then bring your torso to the center, right? Bring your hands on your waist for a moment. Take a breath. And as you exhale, bend this knee, your right knee now, in the direction of the little toe. Keep your knee no further than right over the ankle, right? We don't want to go beyond it. Then you can just widen your stance a little bit. So let's do that again. Breath in as you exhale. In. Inhale, straighten. And as you exhale, sink in. One more time. And as you find your place, look that your knee is in line over the ankle and just take your right hand on the inside of that leg and gently Press it open as the torso turns front. And then reach out through that left hand and reach a little bit to bring your torso to the center. And then bring the energy right from your heart, reach it out through your leg, out through your hand. And then turn, lift your right arm and stretch and look out over the right hand. And then take a few long breaths. Again, you might join your thumb and index finger as you take the pose of the warrior. Strong, open, able to meet life and all that it brings. Compassion for yourself and all beings. Sink in one more breath. To release, straighten the right leg. Pivot it back to the center. Release for a moment and feel what's happening here. And then pivot from your left hip and press your right heel away. Get grounded, energize through those legs. Take a breath and then bend that left knee towards the little toe. And as you inhale, lengthen it back up. And do that a few times. You're sinking down and bending the knee in that direction. And last time. And then take the hand and just press it back and rotate the torso to this front again. Back leg is strong. And you reach that back arm out. You look that way. And then you stretch the left arm out and look that way. See the path before you. In this life, grounded and stable, with heart open. Take long, full breaths as you explore here. Maybe little movements here as you explore and find your way in. And then release by straightening the leg. Pivot the foot to the center. Turn both feet forward again. Hinge the hips and slide your hands down your legs as you reach the heart forward. Stop as your torso comes about parallel with the ground. Pause there for a few moments. And then a little bit further. And then let your torso dangle down as your hands slide down the legs. Let your head dangle a little bit. Maybe shake it out from side to side. Sitting bones lift. If your hands reach the floor, you can reach them back through your legs and ease in a little further. To release, bring your hands on your waist. Lengthen your spine, bend your knees, press back up as you inhale. Pause in the center for a moment. And then bend one knee and bring that weight over towards the other foot. Pause for a moment. And then turn to face towards the front of your mat once again. Soften your knees and angle yourself down. Bring your hands to the floor. Come up on your toes. Bend your knees, come into a squat. And then bring your hands behind you and come to sit. As you do that now, knees are bent towards the edge of your mat. Hands can be behind you, and you feel lengthened out here. Feel your length and your strength. And lift one leg, and then the other. You can hold behind the legs now. Tip and just hold a little bit. Find a place to focus on. Release the hands if that works. Life can be wobbly sometimes. It's always a balance. There's a strength in you there's a way to accommodate. One or two more breaths. Hmm. And then slowly, slowly release it down. And then allow your body to calm down. Let it roll down onto your back. And as it finds the ground, ask it, what does it need right now? There is a wisdom that speaks through our body and speaks through our life. So take this time now to listen to the wisdom of the body as it shows you what it needs. A gentle stretch, a little twist, a pose perhaps, a bridge or shoulder stand or anything else, a simple twist of the head or reaching through the arms. Hmm. In joy and sorrow, all are equal. So gather all that's here and meet yourself from that awakened heart, compassionate, loves you no matter what, welcomes you right here, right now. And you just have to ask, what's needed now? And now. And allow yourself, dare to allow yourself to be guided by a wisdom that resides so deep inside you, an unbiased wisdom. Hmm. Hmm. In fact, dare not to know what is next. Just breathe into it and be guided. Hmm. And then please just set an intention for the next few moments to bring this flow, this place of freedom to rest. And watch how it brings you there. And then when you find your body ready to take rest, if you have that bolster, place it under your legs and perhaps something small under your head, covering for your eyes or a blanket over you to make sure you're warm. And then splay the body out. Be willing to take up space. Hmm. Hmm. And take a few long, full breaths, and with each exhale, let them be a letting go breath that if there's anything that is not needed, may it release to this earth. She happily takes what is not needed. She does not discriminate. May our compassion be as wide as that. As the muscles in the face relax and the eyes fall back, the tongue relaxes and the jaw relaxes. And as the tongue relaxes a little more down the throat, it's as if there's a liquid nectar of ease and relaxation that flows down and through you. Perhaps it's the warm nectar of compassion and love. It flows down through the throat and the heart, the arms, and it washes away all that's not needed, any separation, as it flows from the heart to the solar plexus, from there to the belly, down the legs and out the feet, filled with the light of love and compassion. As you visualize that light, it's a healing light. And as we heal ourselves, we're there for others. And then as that love and light really fill your whole being, it's as if the outer skin can dissolve to this light. And you rest in this light that you are, this love that you are. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. So as you hear the sound of the bell and the sound of my voice and any of the sounds around, just let that gently invite you back through the sense doors. And then invite the breath to deepen some as that invites you back into the body, into the physical body. And as you take a deep breath, just begin to let a little natural, organic stretch begin to happen. Until you eventually draw your knees into your chest, give yourselves a nice hug. Sweetheart, just say you're doing great. Hmm. Hmm. Right where you are. Then roll yourself over to one side. And as you pause there for a moment, just really holding yourself like the arms of the mother that would hold you. I share with you this Hafiz poem. He says, it happens all the time in heaven. It happens all the time in heaven. And someday it will begin to happen again on earth. That men and women who are married, and men who are lovers, and women who give each other light, often get down on their knees and while so tenderly holding their lover's hand, with tears in their eyes, will sincerely speak, saying, "My dear, how can I be more loving to you? How can I be more kind? How can I be more loving to you? How can I be more kind?" Mm. And so we bring that loving and kindness to ourselves and to each other. And then please press your hands into the earth and rise back up to sitting and come to sit at the edge of your blanket or cushion. Take your seat, grounded and long. Hmm. Perhaps bring a hand to your own heart, your own precious heart. Hmm. Bringing love and kindness to your own heart and to everyone you meet. Now take a moment to feel where you are right now. Hmm. The effect of your practice, your presence, your willingness to open the door a little more to compassion, to loving kindness. Hmm. And reflect for a few moments on your practice and notice what stands out for you. Perhaps there's a highlight or an insight. Hmm. Hmm. And then drop in a little bit further, a little deeper to that place that is wise and loving, wide open, without conditions. And ask from that place, given all that's happened here in my life, what is the knowing for me today? What is it I need to remember as I step back into my life? And then listen inwardly for that wisdom and trust what you hear, a word of saying. Whisper it back to yourself, to your own heart. Mm. Mm. And continue to whisper it back so the feeling tone of that wisdom grows inside you. Visualize it filling you to the brim. And then take a breath. And as you exhale, send out this wisdom as a blessing to everyone and everything, everywhere. And in this way, may we dedicate the merit of the practice and all of our virtuous acts to the benefit and the awakening of all beings everywhere. May all beings know happiness and the root of happiness. May all be free of all suffering and the root of suffering. And may this reach out to touch everyone. Mm. Mm. And if you'd like to join me, we'll close with our closing mantra. It's a dedicating mantra. We chant the sound of Om, and then Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And we can chant that 3 times and then end with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's take a breath in. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings everywhere know peace and joy and love and light. May peace prevail. Jai Bhagwan and Namaste, everyone. And as you gently open your eyes, thank you so much for joining me. And before we close, I wanted to just share another few lines with you that His Holiness the Dalai Lama said that I heard last night. He reminded us that all beings survive through love. He reminded us to practice non-harming, to serve and help one another. And he said, and we will have a peaceful world. He says, the more compassion you have and you are, the happier you are. Develop bodhicitta, that awakened heart, and wish it for yourself and for others. He says, love and compassion is beneficial for everyone. It's always the answer. So have a good, warm heart, and we need a warm heart to have happiness. So blessings to you and blessings to your warm heart until we see each other again. Jai Bhagwan.